Hey guys, what's going on and welcome to today's video for Legends of Runeterra. Today we're going to be looking at one of the best decks in the format at the moment. Today we're going to be looking at Zoe Aurelion Sol. Very strong deck, probably, definitely at least top 5, arguably even a top 3 deck. Some would even say it is the best deck in the format. I wouldn't put it there, I'd say it's definitely top 3 though. So, without talking too much and rambling too much, let's go and take a quick look at the deck and then get into some games. Okay, here we go. Now, first off, before we get too far into this deck, I just want to say this is probably my favorite deck of the meta. I'd say there are a lot of decks that are vying for position of favorite deck of the meta, but for the current meta, this is probably it because I love Zoe, I love Aurelion Sol, so a deck that plays both of them, I really like. So, quick note about how to play the deck. Kind of just like sit around and control the board using Grand Plaza, play Zoe, generate a lot of value. If you're able to do it and you see that you're able to do it, try to protect Zoe to level her up. If she dies, don't waste, if she's gonna die, don't waste too much stuff trying to protect her. Like, don't like double Pale Cascader or whatever. And then in the late game, if you haven't won yet, you play Aurelion Sol and a bunch of Celestials you have accumulated. Next up, though, talking about Zoe herself, a way to think of Zoe in any Zoe deck, pretty much almost any Zoe deck, is the game is all about Zoe when she comes onto the field, whether it is your Zoe or your opponent's Zoe. And what I mean by that is when a Zoe is on the field, they must be answered relatively quickly. Because even if your opponent or you don't attack in with Zoe, you're still going to play cards. Those cards are going to work towards leveling up Zoe. Leveled up Zoe isn't unbeatable, but you're going to be fighting a very tough uphill battle against a leveled up Zoe. So, again, like I said earlier, don't use too many resources to try and protect a Zoe, but if you can get an early, say, Moon Glow from the star chart, then you're in a good spot to try and level up Zoe. Now then, enough about talking about how to play the deck, let's actually talk about the individual cards. First up, we got Spacey Sketcher. This card is just great. We all know how good Star Chart is already from Zoe. Spacey Sketcher is kind of like a slower Star Chart that's on a body, and it has a 1/1. Sure, you have to discard a card, but between things like Mountain Goats, giving gems, and Zoe giving Star Charts and random Celestials, and just if you want to, just discarding a card in a matchup where it's not that great, like discarding Starry Scamp in a matchup where you don't really want Starry Scamp, or discarding a Hush when you don't need more Hushes. Yeah, cards just really good, huge value. Not really something you want to play too early on unless you really need the board presence and you have nothing else in your hand. Then you can look for something like, I don't know, a Serpent or a Trickster or whatever, just to try and get a little bit of board presence. But you generally want to play this in the mid game. Try not to discard a real card. Try to discard like a gem or at the very least a bad card for the certain matchup you're playing. Next up, we got Zoe. I already talked about her a bit. There's not much to talk about Zoe. Zoe's just really strong. Turn 1 Zoe is one of the best, probably if not the best play you can do with this deck. Um, it's like I said, she's just so good. She generates so much value. If they don't kill her, she'll just keep generating more value and eventually level up and just win the game all on her own. It's crazy. Next up, Hush. Hush is great. Probably, if I remember correctly, the most played Targon card. I think any Targon deck, no matter whether it's aggro, mid-range, or control, or combo, or whatever, I think any Targon deck needs at least 2 Hushes in this meta. It's so good. It's great against things like Lee Sin. It's great against Zoe because it can remove elusives. Decent against Freeze because it can remove the freeze for the turn. It's just a great card. Next up, Mountain Goat. Just a good solid 2-drop. I know some lists that play Zoe Aurelion Sol play a lot of different cards, like Egghead. I don't think you should play Egghead currently in the meta, in my opinion. And my reasoning for that is because right now, at the time of recording this, which is only a couple of days before I upload this, I believe, the meta is really fast. If the meta slows down, you might be able to cut Mountain Goat for Egghead for a little more late game and other stuff. But right now, I think you need Mountain Goat. It's just such a good card. Plus, the synergy with Spacey Sketcher is really nice. And plus, Mountain Goat is a 3/2, which that's a decent amount of attack per turn, every single attack, and it can block Fearsome too. Mountain Ghost just a great card now that it doesn't die to pings anymore ever since it got buffed. Second card, or next card, Pale Cascade, pretty much the second most played target card after Hush. Not much to talk about this. Everyone knows why this card is great. It draws a card, it helps you win combats, it lets you push in damage, lets you dig through the deck. It's just so good. Single combat, probably the second most played Demacia card after Grand Plaza, I believe. Again, cheap combat spell, lets you lets you do a lot of stuff, lets you gain some life if you use it with a life stealer, kill elusives. Sure, Nopify is a thing, but whatever. And thanks to Pale Cascade, even if they have combat tricks, if they can't stop the single combat itself, you're probably winning the combat. And of course, there's always the downside of getting 2 for 1 where they play like a removal spell. But again, we have Pale Cascade. Next up, something I've seen not too many decks play in there, Zoe Aurelion Solist. We got Starry Scamp. The reason I like Starry Scamp in the list is because it lets you catch up on tempo. I've talked about this before with landmarks in general. Pretty much every landmark is a do nothing card. Sure, you could play them later on instead of on curve, but if you play a landmark on curve, you're pretty much doing nothing for that turn. And even if you are going to do something else, like, I don't know, play Grand Plaza and play something else, you're still using up 3 mana to do nothing for that turn. Or let's say you're using, I don't know, Scar Grounds. It's still 3 mana to do nothing for that turn. Or other stuff. Whatever landmark you're thinking of. Starry Scamp kind of lets you not be affected by the tempo loss so much because of Zoe and Spacey Sketcher too. You will probably have a cheap early Celestial because of those 2 cards. So you can play Starry Scamp as a 0 mana 2/2, whether you have Plaza or not, just to get on the field, get on the board. But the dream is you play Plaza, then you play Starry Scamp. It's a 0 mana 3/3 challenger, and then you can use it to try and kill some problematic stuff. Maybe even survive the combat, so you still have like a 2/2 or a 2/1 or whatever it is after combat. And then you just win because it's great. I completely underestimated this card when I first saw it, and I like the card now, and I'm a big fan. Next up, Solari Priestess. Just a good, solid card. Kind of needs something else to do on 3 besides Grand Plaza. Honestly, the 3-drop slot is a little lacking, but Solari Priestess is a good one. Sure, it's not that great against aggro, but it lets you smooth out your curve. Lets you find like a Traveler or maybe a Warrior or Golden Sister helps smooth out the curve. Maybe you get a Comet if you just need more Comets to remove maybe an enemy Plaza or something. Find Written in Stars so you can find your Aurelion Soul in the late game and maybe even ramp it out, sort of, because of how Written in the Stars is. It gives you a discount on the champion you draw. Or give you even a 0 mana 3/3 Zoe. Just a pretty solid card. Again, like I said, though, against aggro, it's kind of meh, but with Pale Cascade, it's okay. And then we have Grand Plaza next up. Not much to talk about here. If you've been playing the game even slightly recently, you've seen this card. Crazy card. Turn 3, yeah, there's a tempo hit, but a lot of decks are trying different things to basically negate that tempo hit if they play this on 3. For example, this deck is playing Starry Scamp. Scouts plays Blinding Assault to summon Valor using just spell mana or even Double Trouble sometimes I've seen. Really powerful card. Honestly, I think it might get a small nerf in the future. Maybe, I really, in my opinion, think the biggest problem with the card is that it gives +1/+1. I think if it only gave +1/+0, it would be still good, but just fine and strong, but not extremely strong and borderline OP, if not OP, as it is now. Because that health it gives is really strong. Next up, Solari Sunforger, just a great card. Along with playing Plaza into Sunforger, the curve is just insane. If you have the attack token on 4, you gain a bunch of health, and then if you can kill something and then single combat, and then you just gain a bunch of life thanks to this guy. Wonderful card. Next up, we got Concerted Strike. I like the Concerted Strikes. I know some lists only play single combat as their only fight spell. maybe they play a Judgment as well, but I like Concerted Strike as, in my opinion, I think you need more things. And right now, Lee Sin and Ionia is getting a little more popular, so I think you can't really play Judgment, because if you get a Concerted Strike denied, it's still sad, but it's not that much mana compared to, say, getting Judgment denied. That's a 8 mana loss. Well, here it's only a 5 mana loss. And sure, of course, it's like Judgment is much, much flashier and bigger and higher impact, but again, it's an 8 mana card. What do you expect? So you could probably take out one Concerted Strike for one Judgment, or even take out both Concerted Strikes for 2 Judgments. I wouldn't do that, in my opinion. Next up, though, 2 Radiant Guardians. Radiant Guardian, in my opinion, is kind of a flex spot. You could cut these out for more late game for another couple Eclipse Dragons. I wouldn't recommend it at the moment because the meta's a little aggressive, and I think you kind of need the Radiant Guardians to just do their job and heal you and slow down your opponent. So yeah, 2 Radiant Guardians. But again, you could cut them for something else. Next up, 3 Star Shapings. This card is just great. One of the best healing cards in the game, if not the best healing card in the game. It heals you, heals a unit if you want to heal a unit, gives you some big late game unit or spell. Just a great card. 1 Eclipse Dragon, only 1 because, again, I've said it numerous times, game's really fast right now, meta's really fast. In the future, we might be able to cut other cards, like I said, the Radiant Guardians, maybe even the Starry Scamps for more Eclipse Dragons. Same reason why we only play 2 Aurelion Souls. Sure, 3 Aurelion Souls is nice because it gives you more of a chance to play Sky's Descend. But again, the meta's really fast right now. And with Scouts becoming more and more popular, we can't really have things like 3 Eclipse Dragons, 3 Aurelion Souls. In the future, if more and more slower decks become more popular, yes, we will play more Eclipse Dragons and more Aurelion Souls. But for now, I like this number. I like the 2 Aurelion Souls and the 1 Eclipse Dragon. You might even be able to cut 1, maybe Radiant Guardian or something for, say, a Dragon's Clutch to really guarantee the draw of Eclipse Dragon and Aurelion Soul, but I don't like that. I feel like if you want to do that, you'd want to either play another dragon, like another Eclipse Dragon specifically. Anyway, though. Wow, did my voice just break there? Whatever. Anyway, though, enough about this deck and talking about the deck. Let's get into a game or two to see how this deck plays. Why not? All right. Welcome to low tier masters, by the way. I'm playing against the meme here. I'm playing against Team Oteric, it seems. So as for mulligans, what you want to find early is, obviously, what you're looking for is Grand Plaza and Zoe. Those are like the 2 biggest cards you want. If you're against a deck that also is playing Zoe, you might want to look for Hush, and you might also want to look for Single Combat. I'm gonna keep Solari Priestess too, because I'm a little bit greedy here. I could even consider keeping a Starry Scamp. Of course, double Grand Plaza is mediocre, but whatever. Now, we could play Zoe on 1. I'm going to do it. But by not playing it on 1, we represent Pale Cascade if we play it on 2. But I want to do it like this so I can open attack in, just for reasons. Specifically because if they play a 1-drop and then they can represent Hush, that would be very scary. Ooh. Now, what am I playing against? I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know what I'm expecting here. Team Oteric, I have no idea what it is. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm going against. So this is an interesting turn. Do I develop Grand Plaza or do I play Solari Priestess? I could also just play Sleepy Trouble Bubble to stop the Investigator. And then I can also play Grand Plaza. And I think I'm actually going to do that. I'll stun this. They can still attack in with the Mentor, but by stunning this, they can't attack in like this. I could also play Paddle Star instead to kill this. I don't want to. I'd rather develop the Grand Plaza here. I could also play Spacey Sketcher here to discard Paddle Star. Again, I'd rather just develop Grand Plaza. Oh, if they're going to offer me this trade, I will gladly take it. I wasn't expecting this at all. I guess they think I might have a, unit, which I do. I have a number of units. I could have just placed Sunforger here. I'm actually going to pass. My opponent will probably pass too, but if they pass as well, they will burn a card. So it's on them to play something. I like passing here because they can't actually play Tarek. If they just gem up here, I will still pass. I'm honestly fine if they pass as well because I will bank spell mana. Hex score. Hex score is a little bad for me. I was expecting Hex score, but I really wasn't. I will take Comet. I think I have to Comet this Hex score. Hex score is kind of a soft counter to Invoke decks. Sure, we're not like heavy Invoke, but we still Invoke a lot. And I think if we don't get rid of this Hex score, we will just lose the game. Now the question is, do I want to get rid of it now?
Beauty and life.
I think the answer is yes. I don't want to give them more cards. I'm probably going to use one of my Spacey Sketchers soon to get rid of a Grand Plaza. They have Aftershock. This guy doesn't want to attack in for 3 damage for some reason. I don't know if I'm worried about Aftershock. That's kind of a nice draw. I will pass again. Force them to play a card. They'll probably just play Gem here. Really like the play. They're going to double Gem up, I guess, to deal with my Sunforger? Ah, okay, okay. That feels like a Pale Cascade. So I have options here. I can look for like a Stomper or whatever it's called. Charger. To try and kill Tarek. And I think I like that play a little bit. I got Dog. I think I'll take the Trickster. And welcome to Starry Scam. The whole point of Starry Scam coming down. This is 0 mana 3/3. I think I still play Trickster, but I'll do it now. I'm trying to make them do something to go below 4 mana. This is a little bit worrying.
Tons of damage.
I will do this trade. I think I'm actually going to do this. This will force them to gem again if they Pale Cascade me here. Because they'll draw a card off of the Pale Cascade. They'll get 3 gems off of this, and they'll be forced to gem up Tarek. I'm not sure if I'm in a good spot, but I think I like the spot I'm in right now. Or they could just play Teemo, yeah, that too. Again, I'll just take the Teemo hit here. I kind of feel like I'm about to get hit by a Tarek, champ spell, whatever it's called, Blessing of Targon. Kind of hate it. If it's just gem, I'm fine with that.
Dazzling.
I will take all this damage. I'm not a coward. Well, depending on how much they want to buff up Tarek. Well, that's a yikes. Good lord.
There is nowhere left to go but up.
I can't believe I'm losing to this. I don't think I'm losing right now, but this is scary. Like, they're popping off, in other words. I should chump this. That's a lot of damage.
Oh man, that's gotta sting.
I think the play here is going to be start with Solari Priestess, play Grand Plaza. Meteor Shower is not terrible. Written in Stars is nice too, though. I think I'm gonna take Written in Stars. And now I just play Plaza. And I'll save this to play on my turn so I can have a 4/4 Challenger. Solari Sunforger. Challenge Tarek. Sounds good. Goat plus Starry Scamp, just more stuff. Chump Wump, whatever. Start with the Scamp, I think. And now we gotta do the Plaza shenanigans. I wanted to discard this Plaza, but because they leveled up Tarek, I'm really scared and I want as much power on the board as possible. They played 2 Pale Cascades though, but they still have 5 mana up, and that's a +3/+3. That is very scary. So now the question is, do I want to play around +3/+3? I'll play around it a little. I'll do this trade and this. I'm not gonna put my I'm not gonna have Mountain Goat challenge Tarek because I want Tarek. I don't want Pale Cascade to make Tarek survive the trade. Sure, I'm representing Pale Cascade myself, but I don't have it. So let's see if they have it. They have a Pale Cascade, okay. So they drew 3 Pale Cascades this game. Okay. That's a yikes for me. It's not terrible. Like, unless this guy plays Zenith Blade, which I wouldn't actually be that surprised to see. I am fine. I think I'm going to play Written in Stars here. Nice. That is probably exactly who I wanted. I wasn't sure if I wanted Zoe or Aurelion Soul, but I think I want Aurelion Soul here to play on 10 to try and kill Tarek, because good lord, he's big. I can chump block here, though. I'm not scared. Not scared at all. I'm not going to lose with a meme, or I'm not going to lose against a meme as a real deck. I have faith. I would like, Serpent's not bad, but neither is Moonglow. I like all of these, actually. I'm starting to run out of room, though, is the problem. I think I'm going to take the Serpent. I don't think they're going to be able to, Alright, sure. I will probably... Okay, they're going to do this. I'm not too worried about doubled up mushrooms. I am, but between Aurelion Soul and Sunforger, I should be fine. I will chump here, though. Okay. I will have to chump here. So this guy won't be able to die now. So that's yikes.
Can I paint you?
I think I'm fine. 54 puff caps, though, is a lot. I'll be honest with you. That's a lot of puff caps. But Star Shaping? I probably should have Star Shaping here, actually. Only 2 puff caps? You'll love to see it. Let's start with Aurelion Soul. Let's start with Serpent. Okay. Okay. You can shove in more mushrooms into the deck. I hate it. Immortal Fire is elusive, I guess. Okay. I am going to do this block. Or this attack. I think this is the attack I like best instead of the opposite order to play around Blessing of Targon. Basically, I don't want to hook in Tarek with the Serpent and have Serpent die to Blessing of Targon Tarek. So it looks like they're just going to shove in a bunch of mushrooms in the deck and go for that. I might lose just because of bad RNGs. Like, this is 8 mushrooms each. I have a lot of healing, though. Between 2 Star Shapings and a Sunforger, I don't think it's likely I lose. And now I can threaten a leveled up Aurelion Soul this turn. 1, okay. Okay. I'm going to Spacey Sketcher here to throw away Serpent. That will threaten a level up. No, it won't. Never mind. Ignore what I said. Instead, I will play Immortal Fire.
Try keeping her down.
Oh, another Hex Core. Not what I wanted to see. All right. I think I do this here and look for Supernova. I didn't find Supernova, but I will take Living Legends. Oh. I'm getting emote spammed now. I think I have to do this.
More courage than brawn, I'm afraid.
All right, so I'm gonna draw 3 cards this turn. That's not good. Okay, that's a bit too much there. I might be fine. If I don't die, because Aurelion Soul levels up, if I don't die, I can Living Legends, even though my hand is full, but I can also heal up. I doubt I die here. Like 86 puff caps, I highly, highly doubt I'm going to draw 16. So how many? 2 with that. 4. And 3. Perfect. So I need another 8 damage. I think I'll start with this. Look for like Supernova or something. So I can kill these Hex Cores, really. Because if I don't win this round, I think I need to kill these most of all. I think this is the most important thing. And I like this play because I have Living Legends. If I didn't take this Living Legends, I would probably be doing a different play and trying to go for lethal here. But now I feel like I might get Veteran Investigated. But even then, it's fine.
For those who need it.
I don't want this 2-1. I can play a I can play something over the monument, the landmark, if I want to, but I'll do that after I play Living Legends, I think. So I don't think my opponent can win. In all honesty, I think they should just give up. Unless they have, like, double Veteran Investigator into something else. Okay, Rummage. They're probably looking for Veteran Investigators. Maybe Hush. Hush could also stop me for a bit. Iterative Improvement to get a free one of those. That's fine. I'll just Mountain Goat here. I probably should have considered also, I should have considered Sunforger here. Just to gain some more life, but yeah, now I win. I was gonna say, I'll probably find a big thing here. I'll just start with this, really. Like, this is lethal on board now. I've got a 10-5 and a 16-6 and a 5-5 elusive. Okay, okay, they got the Investigator. I think I just go for it now. I could look for another Aurelion Soul to Sky's Descend, but that's just overkill, I think. So I think I'll just go for the kill. No point in just carrying this on out. I'm actually going to play Moonglow here. Okay, GG. I was going to play around Hushes, but they had 1 mana. So that's how you play the deck.
Victory today, freedom tomorrow.
Okay, welcome back. I think, I don't know whether I like 1 or 2 games for this series, for these deck techs. I've gotten comments saying that they prefer 1 game because it makes the video shorter and they don't like the really, really long, like 45-minute videos, which is what happens with 2 games when you're playing a control deck, because control games are usually longer and I need to talk about the deck itself in the very beginning. I might go up to 2 games in the future, but for now I'm going to leave this at 1 game because I feel like that was a good game. Sure, I was against a meme deck, but I think I showed off the game plan of this deck really well. I had an early Zoe start. I had Grand Plaza. I played Starry Scam for free to catch up on Tempo lost from Grand Plaza, and we won in the late game with Aurelion Soul and Celestials in general. Try to level up Aurelion Soul. Like that's a very good way to level up, of course, or to win, of course. Anyway, though, yeah, that's it. There are a lot of card changes you can do for the deck. Lots of cards to play around with that you can put in that are not in the deck, like Egghead Researcher, more Eclipse Dragons, Judgments, less Concerted Strikes, and more. So I highly recommend the deck. One of the best decks in the meta right now, in my opinion. I think it will be one of the best decks for a long time, in fact, too, unless they nerf Zoe or Aurelion Soul or maybe Hush or Pale Cascade in the future, or Grand Plaza, but still, deck is still really strong, even if they would nerf one of those cards. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you all learned something by watching me play and listening to me explain how to play the deck. Very fun deck again. I've said that already. Try it out. If you have the resources to build it, you won't be disappointed, in my opinion. So with that all said and done, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like or a comment down below. And if you want to keep up with the series, please, or the Runeterra content or whatever, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you have your own version of this deck that you're playing that plays a lot of different cards, I would love to hear more about it because, again, like I said, it's probably my favorite deck in the meta, and I like looking at all kinds of variants that play other cards, such as Egghead Researcher instead of Mountain Goat and other such things. And maybe even some Bastions, too. Anyway, though, that's enough. I'm rambling now, so again, thank you all again for watching. I hope you have a good day as well. And until I see you guys in the next video, bye!